Welcome back, everybody. Bloodlust Knight here with a World of Warships video for you. Here, going to showcase a ship that I have greatly underestimated because I believe that the mechanic they introduced for these ships is pretty bad. But I'm going to showcase you the first one that we get out of these experimental ships that they have us do. The Tier 8 Metz. Now, as you can see, a problem already. Well, look at my HP. I am now down to a third. Just starting. Just starting. One thing I didn't like about that, I did not like that mechanic. And it's not just the Metz either, it's the other ships too. The Tier 9 Russian Vyazma, and I'm pretty sure the Tier 10, can't remember the name of it right now, does the same thing too. I mean, you start at a third and you have to instantly use your heals to get up so you don't get instantly destroyed at the very beginning, as I have seen in a previous match with the Vyazma, where the CV on my team found the Vyazma and he just healed to get back up to now 2/3 of his health, and it was a tier 10 match too. The Yamato on my team then fired all the way across the map and instantly killed him. Instantly killed him very easily, because he wasn't at full health. And I was just like, seriously? That's going to be a major problem. And so that's why I was hesitant to never... Of course, I was working on another tech tree, but hesitant to get this myself, and I finally got it and decided to try it out. They are pretty expensive to get, because... not only do you need a bunch of credits for each module component you need to get the ship, there's also these other packages or these orders that you have to earn just by playing the game and completing missions to use as the other currency to purchase the rest. That way you can unlock the ship. Now, unlike every other, this isn't something that we just permanently keep either. By a later patch, I believe 14.7 is what they said, all these ships are going to be removed from the port. None of us will keep it. So that's another downer about it. But I just went, finally, since I have every other tier 10 again, I decided to finally get it. Now, upon looking at the Metz, I looked at it real quick and looked at the stats. These are 305 millimeters. 2 quads in the front. So I'm like, okay, so it's like the Marseille line. The guns are just in the front. And I was just like, okay, interesting, so I might try and do that. 305s for a tier 8 is pretty big, pretty strong. Only other ship I know that has it is the USS Congress, that has 305s as well. Now the problem here, though, is that with the special mechanic Metz has, yes, these are 305s, and I have an 18.8 kilometer range. It is a 30-second reload when you're at full health. Yes, full health. Compared to what the USS Congress, which is only a 22.2-second reload for 305s. Now, what I mean by full health is that the Metz does have a bonus mechanic. A bonus passive that's somewhat like a super adrenaline rush that comes with the ship. And that's kind of the thing that's been going on that they're trying to do with this mechanic. You see, I get ready for the Farragut. Now, it's supposed to basically improve your accuracy. I didn't pay attention much to see if it improves your reload, but it's definitely your accuracy and a few other attributes as well, in order, which will get improved depending on how much HP you're missing. So it's kind of a give or take of a risk. Do you want to stay at that low, or do you want to try and manage a few things to see, like, can you utilize that low HP to your benefit to be just basically better at everything else? Now, this is another thing, too. The Metz also has Burst Fire. One of my favorite mechanics that they introduced in the game, and it's basically in Spain. See, quick rapid successions, managed to hit him, didn't hit him too hard on the Hobart, unfortunately. But there's a special thing about this burst fire than compared to the Spanish ships. So the Spanish ships is just like your normal burst fire. you get more shots around without using burst fire than if you do use burst fire. So you want to use it sparingly, knowing that you're going to do a lot of devastating shots, knowing that if a DD is going to turn around and be gone around the corner, so just quickly burst and get as much as you can. Or if you know that you're at the right opportunity of a broadside cruiser and just basically smack the crap out of them with it. Because they did not expect the Spanish Inquisition to shoot that many rounds. But the thing between the two is that your DPM, as we call it, damage per minute, when doing burst fire mode in the Spanish ships is actually significantly a lot less than firing just your regular shots, because the reload on that is much greater. The Metz, however, is different. The fact that it has a 30-second reload not in burst fire mode and only a 40-second reload with burst fire. So with that, you would actually get a slightly better DPM in burst fire than you would in regular. At least that's what I've calculated with. So it would be, okay, so if burst fire is better, since there's only a 10-second difference to fire 2 rounds, you get more rounds out. Well, why am I not in burst fire the whole time here? It's because of another gimmick they threw in here. As you can see in the map, my firing range shrunk. So burst fire with the Metz is now 11.5 kilometers. Whereas, as you see, it just got big again, back to 18.8 when it's not in burst fire. That is the gimmick and another mechanic with the Metz that you have to be very careful on. And so yes, you have to get very close and in front of them to do it. And the bad part is you're only a tier 8 cruiser. So that's kind of a whammy right there on trying to utilize this ship's mechanics, this unique mechanic, because 305 millimeters, again, at tier 8 is really strong. And then having a burst fire mode on it, the Spanish ships are heavy cruisers, but they're not 305s. They're around 200, 220, and 234 up to the Castilla. But just having that is amazing when they get in range. But again, they have to get in range. So it's give or take between the two on what you have to do and which mode you have to fire on. And that's something I learned with this match and doing the Metz, and I was like, okay, that seems something surprisingly unique, which is kind of fun to have in the game, to have different unique mechanics since we're running out of ideas, mechanics, and ships, since they still won't add the sister ships. But I didn't mind it. It's just I couldn't utilize the burst fire a lot because it's only 11.5 kilometers. Now, the nice thing of the Metz is because the guns are in the front, it's very easy to maneuver in position and withstand a lot of shots, so that's a good thing. But I just lost my train of thought here for a moment. Here we go, trying to get the Nuremberg. I lost my train of thought here for a moment. The other thing that I also found out with the Metz, this is what I was trying to say after my brain fart. The other thing about the Metz that I found out is also has decent secondaries at 8 kilometers, because being a French ship with guns only in the front. I do not have that on my commander yet. That's going to be the next thing I put on, just to see about how far it goes, which I think it would be about 9 kilometers is the max. Which won't be too bad. Having the secondaries, though, with such long reload guns, definitely needed. Other things with the Metz, of course, you got a lot of heals since you start with a third of your health. You got a nice, decent Hydra, you got a Ninja Boost, and, of course, fighters. Now, like I said earlier, I greatly underestimated the ship. With how this mechanic is going with that special passive to make these ships start at a third of their health, I thought this was the worst thing they could have ever done. And pretty much in my mind, it still is the worst thing they could ever have done with this. Having this unique burst fire mechanic is actually kind of good. That's enough mechanic right there they could just throw in to these ships in the next ship lines. Like, this is all it's going to have. But now having it to where, oh, we gave it a passive tool so that it starts at a third of its health, and I'm just like, seriously? That's still pretty bad. Especially with the first two being cruisers, just like I said earlier with the Yamato just wiping out the Vyazma real quick. Now, another thing that's also interesting with the burst fire, this is what I had a brain fart on, It does have AP, but as you can see down on the bottom with me loading AP rounds, there's a number 80 on the top right corner. What that means, this is basically kind of the first time they've done it, to my knowledge, here on ships, is they now have an ammo count. Because ideally for how it is since the game's been out, you have infinite ammo. That's always been a thing. Infinite ammo, infinite torpedoes, infinite everything, except for your consumables. Whereas other games such as tanks, that everyone knows me more on, you do have a limited number of rounds per match, and you always want to be sure you fully reload, because if you accidentally end up in a match where you have too few rounds or no rounds, you're doing nothing. But the interesting thing about this one is these AP rounds are actually much stronger. That's the difference between them and the other rounds, every other round in the ship. So they have faster velocity, it takes a longer reload time, and they do a little bit more. Oh, no, they do the same damage, excuse me. It's the maximum dispersion is what I got wrong. The dispersion's a lot better. And that's what's nice about it. The only thing is that, as you can see, I'm not on the 64. You only got 80 rounds of those particular AP rounds. Once that's done, then the only other round you can fire after that is the HE shells. That's it. So use them sparingly, use them wisely. But that's another thing I found interesting about the Metz. So, Alabama's coming across. He's still within range because it's only 11.5. He's at 10.5. Getting ready to fire another burst fire at him. Nope, excuse me. I decided to cancel that because he's going ahead. Probably should have done a burst fire right there. Might have been better because he was still within range. Did manage to set him off. On fire! Scharnhurst is still dealing with the Farragut. And I'm paying attention here to see if the Farragut's going to pop out in smoke because he's pretty close. Other than that, it's just they're all gathering conglomerate down there. We took the other flank, A flank. We have C flank already. It's this Farragut that's a problem because their destroyers are still alive. Ours are dead. So I'm going to sit here and wait and see if Farragut comes my direction, and he should be close enough to where I could spot him. And as in good old-fashioned, this is what I love about burst fire. It's my favorite mechanic in the game. I love the Spanish ships for it. I'm spotted and... oh, hello. Surprise! Ouch and... ouch. Devastation and done. I love burst fire mode. I just have to be very careful with this one because my, as you see, 11.5 range. There are certain destroyers this tier that have a greater firing range than that. Metz is getting closer and he's now going burst fire. Because it's ideally something that you can do with this. Now, if this was a battleship, oh boy. I could see all the charges just coming at it. So I take a fire in a good old-fashioned, as you can see, RNG decides to still have all my rounds go to the left. I hate it when it does that. It's done that a lot. Makes my rounds go to the left. Metz is still charging. We're both just going to sit here and just possibly burst fire each other down. They still have 2 destroyers alive, the Split and the Z-23. I'm now on fire. And here comes the whole conglomerate behind them. The Otago, Alabama are all now shooting at me. Or the Veneta behind me. Veneta's also hurting. And I'm on fire again. Those are better shots. But I do nothing. Good old RNG fashion. Turn on my engine boost to get back faster because Otago's now shooting at me and I don't need a second fire. Thankfully, their Metz is gone, and that's one cool feature about the concealment is that if you have your burst fire, the range only goes out to what your burst fire was. So that's how I instantly disappeared when their Metz died, because I only had the burst fire active. Now I'm at a hill, still on fire. Hydra's about to come back up. I got engine boost on. And I don't know if I should push forward or not. We do have all 3 caps, but they are still ahead of us by 1 ship. and the fact that they also still have 2 destroyers and all ours are dead. So it's still kind of, even though we're ahead by almost 200 points, it's still a very tight race here, especially now that we're seeing that the shores of Alabama look like they're charging at Bravo. The Haguro is still there. There's a Mono out in far. He's going to try and probably finish off the Venito. Venito, again, is at very low health. I'm still deciding on what I want to do. Should I try and help a Mono or push forward? Especially now that I see that with a Mono actively dodging from that far range. So I decided to make a call. I'm like, okay, I'll go with the Mono. We're going to try and get the Mono here. There's a Tago. Okay, they're all out. Maybe I can get them. 12 kilometers. Still not within range of the burst fire. Then I decided to go full forward and like, okay, I'm just going to go up to the island. It's a good opportunity. They're all on the other side except for the Amono. I take a quick shot. Stay hidden. Benito misses. And so do I. He is actively dodging. Right now, they're trying to push forward and capture B. They're split trying to take A. Because that's still a huge advantage they have. We don't have any destroyers. There goes Haguro. Just got caught out in the middle of the open. So I decided to load, in which I do need to get intuition on here, or whatever that's called. It used to be called intuition. I need to get that on here to quickly switch rounds, because now I'm going to try and do this to the shores. Somewhat broadside, and hello! Now, I did not wait. Still got him there, but I did not wait for both my turrets to reload. As you can see, turret number 2 is a shorter reload. I didn't wait for it. I accidentally fired too fast. But still devastated the shores. Burst fire right onto him right there. And I love burst fire when you do that. So that's one thing. If you're against the Metz, beware with a bunch of islands like this. If you're a cruiser, don't go broadside if you know he's going to be right there. Pop my Hydro because I'm being spotted, which means one of the destroyers is in range. Alabama's pushing forward to try and get additional kills as well as Bravo, because they are almost about to be... They're about to lose some points here. Now I fired both my turrets against the broadside. Alabama taking advantage because, well, he's just going forward. He has no choice. And now with... Looks like B's being captured, so one of the destroyers is in it. So I'm reloading what I have left of my AP shells, which is 56. Alabama's still pushing forward. Almost there. Yeah, this 30-second to 40-second reload is ridiculously long. There we go. And, oh, I only need to do the first one, and got to sit it on that one too. So now I'm getting HE reloaded. I guess it does make sense to have it this long. Oh, there he is. They're split. Tago's to my left on the other side of the island with Hyuga behind him. Omono is just far away. And at this point, thankfully Hydro spots those. You should not be running, everyone. You guys have got to basically take us out. First fire again. And split is gone. Kraken unleashed. And that there is the Metz. Definitely underestimated this ship, just because, yeah, I didn't expect it. I was not expecting what this ship's capability is. Only 89,000 damage, but 3 citadels, 5 destroyed. Big surprise of how it performed and what I thought it was. Kraken unleashed. So what I need to do here now to try it out further is I got to get my commander improved to improve its secondaries to have that, so that it can still benefit with something and doing some offense when I'm reloading. And just give this thing a few more tries. I've already used to playing it just from the Marseille line. And see how it performs on the other maps. Whereas this one I was restricted. There I am on the top. Of course, this is highlighted because it says data not yet available, and I don't think it's because there's a lot of people playing the Metz. I don't think the Metz gets it because it's going to be gone in 14.7. So I don't think these experimental ships gets the mastery badge, or as they call it, efficiency badge on here. So the very top 5 kills, 1997 for base experience. And yeah, they did, I mean, did you see they didn't do very bad? They did really well. Like you're split with 1422 and a loss, 1326 for Shores, 1023 and for the Farragut until I took them out. They were doing decently well as compared to my team. As you can see, you're like, whoo boy, it was a bit of a struggle there at the end, but we managed to pull it off and basically outscore them because we took all the caps and they fled in the back. Oh no, I mean, this was just a surprising surprise for me. I still do not like that mechanic though, right at the beginning. I do not like that. So all I would say on this one is I think just not having it start at a third of their health and the ship would be fantastic to have. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think they should not have the ship start that way? That way we're not instantly about ready to be toast as soon as a CV comes after us? Or do you think it's fine just to utilize its passive trait ability that it has to improve its accuracy greatly, as well as a few other traits? Of course, only that 371,000 credits because this is not a premium ship. Well, let me know what you think about it. Is this a mechanic they should add? Should they just basically get rid of that special bonus mechanic, that passive, and just have this burst fire be a unique thing for itself? Let me know down in the comments what you think. And with that, I hope you do give Metz a try. Again, I did underestimate the Metz greatly, mainly for its firepower. I did not expect firepower to be this great, but I still don't like that passive mechanic at the very beginning. So with that, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you hate it, and do hit that subscribe button for more video content like this, as my schedule just does not exist. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you next time.